Hey, 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 you beautiful twin flames, and welcome back to Tarot for You 444. Yesterday was really fun because Little Red Riding Hood and I had a crazy hair day together, and today is going to be even more funner, which is my new word for the day. It's going to be funner because look who's here. Harry's here, and I've been trying to get Harry out of his ego for a really long time because the ego is kind of disconnecting with us from our soul. If we know, you know what I mean? Like, if you're in your ego, then you're not in your soul space. And so Harry is the gang member with the biggest ego. As you can see, he shows off a lot, but he has a telepathic message to give to you today. So look into his eye, is what he's saying. Look into his eye and see if you can get the message today. Okay. It seems to be taking an awfully long time. Okay. All right. So he's going to tell me what it is. See if you get it. Okay. Wow. I don't know if I'm going to remember all this. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Let me see if I can remember it. Forbidden is the fruit that wanderers often take. However, that fruit is also nutritious and has lots of vitamins in it. Make sure you get vitamin D from the sunshine, and make sure you go and check out your past lives because they're important. Harry, that's really silly. I mean, did anyone get that? That's like a really long one. I think you've kind of taken the piss, which in Australia means you're having a joke. All right, so today I'm going to do a concept video for Twin Flames. And it's really important because this is something that I especially want the divine feminine to understand. And if there's any divine masculines watching, this is also really important too. So I want you to imagine, just for a moment, that you're a little baby and you just came into the world. Hang on. My scrunchies are coming in really handy lately. I need to buy more, don't I? So if you were a little girl baby, I don't know, not all girls like pink, and I'm not saying for one moment that that's the truth, but if you were a little girl baby, maybe you liked yellow and pink and blue and all of those cute little colors. All right, so here's our little baby, and of course it's just a mug, but it's our little baby mug. Okay. Now, when you were a little baby, you had this wonderful perception. Maybe Harry can be in there somehow. Let me see if I can. I don't know if that's going to be weird. Let's see how weird that looks with Harry in there. Wow, okay. So Harry can be our little baby. Alrighty. So he might be his eyes are a little bit squished there, but that's okay. So Harry's going to be our little baby. And when he's born, his perception of the world hasn't yet happened yet because he's still looking around and learning about things. And, maybe he's taken by the sky, or maybe he's, and when I say taken by, I mean, he's infatuated with different things. You know how babies look and, I don't know, like if they see a mobile hanging down or something like that, it's really interesting. And so as he gets older, and he's not a baby anymore, and we'll have to put you over there for a minute, he starts taking on board some things. So he might go to school and someone might teach him about, I don't know, clouds and why, and how it rains or something like that. And then his parents might tell him off when he's naughty, and then he might go on the internet and learn some information, and then he might have his first love when he gets a little bit older, and then he might buy a house, let's say, and learn about finances or something like that. And then he might, have all these different experiences that build him up to where he is now. Okay. So I'm just using dice and other little knickknacks to fill up the cup. And he's not a baby anymore. Whoops. So he's not a baby anymore. He's grown up. Okay, so his mind and his body is full of all this energy, okay? And all this energy, some of it's really good energy, some of it's, maybe he had a great childhood and his mum and dad loved him a lot and encouraged him and gave him all of these wonderful things, and then maybe he was in an abusive relationship, or you know what I mean? So if we say that all of the red ones are bad scenarios, or not congruent with his soul space, okay, and then maybe all the yellow is learning experiences and all the blue is his knowledge. If we put all that together, we've got a really interesting mix of what's going on, okay? And so what I want to talk to you today about is that I haven't got another cup, but I have got another container here. So one twin flame is going to have all of this energy, and the other twin flame is going to have all of this energy as well, which is taken on by the physical body, taken on by the emotional body, taken on by the mental body. I might just write that down for you so that we can actually learn something today. Ooh. Okay. So everything that you take on from when you're a baby can affect you energetically in 3 ways: emotionally, mentally, and physically. Okay, so mentally, we're talking about thought patterns. Emotionally, we're talking about feelings. And physically, we're talking about the energy of chakras and also the energy of your cells. Okay. So we have feelings, we have thought patterns, and we also have the energy of our chakras and the energy of our cells. And so what's happened to us in our lives is really important because it makes us who we are. So, if you've got an illness that you can't shake, if you've got an emotional pattern that you can't shake, maybe you're an emotional eater, maybe you have, I'm trying to think of what it's called, when someone, I don't think I'm going to be able to think of it. Oh yeah, I am. OCD, like obsessive compulsive disorder. You know how people, they might count things, or they might, like, I don't know, let's say, see my rose painting in the background there isn't straight. And if someone had OCD, they would feel the need to, perhaps straighten that up so that it looks straight. Or the fact that my camera, I just noticed that my camera angle is not really even, like that's better, you know what I mean? So what I mean to say is that many twin flames have been emotionally, I don't know, I like it better like that. Sorry if you've got OCD. I'm not trying to mess with you today. What I'm saying is we've got feelings and emotions which cause us to do certain patterns of behavior. We've also got mental things, thought patterns that cause us to do certain behaviors and live in certain ways. And then we've also got the physical energy which surrounds our chakras and our cells. Okay, so if you can imagine 2 twin flames, they have the same soul, right? Remember, the twin flame, the soul is split into 2 and goes into 2 physical bodies, physical vessels. Imagine that's one and that's the other. This is Larry and this is Janine. I know it was Harry before, but we're changing it, right? This is Larry and Janine, and look how different they are inside, right? Look how much different stuff has gone inside. Now what happens is, during the dark night of the soul, which is basically the shedding of of the ego. Okay. I've written it wrong. I'll show you in a minute. It's funny. Hang on. Maybe your divine masculine is going to come to you in some sexy way, like a knight, but it's actually written without the K. Dark night of the soul is where you start to literally wake up and see the world for what it is, and realize that you're in a matrix. Realize that you are your soul and not your ego and your body, or your mind and your body, which has an ego. Okay, so this is why shedding the ego can be so difficult, because what happens during that time for many twin flames is they need to let go of things that, I mean, maybe not the knowledge, because I said the blue was the knowledge, but if we tip this cup upside down and take away the red ones, that was all the pain and the suffering and the hurt, and maybe there was some abuse there, and maybe there was some addiction there. And if we take all of that away, then notice how the cup's got more room to be filled. You know, we actually have more room to fill it up with the good stuff, you know, with the knowledge, with the love, with the beautiful stuff. And then if we look at Larry, right, he's got this really big one here. Okay, that might be some kind of addiction that he's had for years. You know, maybe he's been an alcoholic for years. Maybe he's been watching, this one's too much porn. Right, I don't know, maybe this one is masturbating on the staircase, you know what I mean? At his mother's house when the family are over, which is a really weird thing to do. Don't ever do that, because if you get caught, it'll be really weird. I'm joking. But you know what I mean? All of this negative stuff usually comes to pass when we go through the dark night of the soul. Or your twin flame might say, well, I like everyone in the world except people that masturbate on the staircase at their mother's house. And you might go, oh! Larry might go, not you, because I know you don't do that, but Larry might say, OMG, he's being a judgmental, hang on, Janine. It's Janine, isn't it? It's not Larry. Harry. Okay, Janine, let's just do this again. This is Janine, and this is Larry. And Janine says, oh, I like everyone except those people who masturbate on the staircase, which is a joke, of course, right? And then, of course, Larry goes off and gets upset because he's being judged, which quite often happens in the twin flame journey. Did I say journey? Journey. No, there's no germs here. There's just the journey. So a cool example of this might be, let's just use a real example. Janine might say, what could she say that might piss Larry off? Or maybe we should do Larry to Janine. All right. So Larry might say something like, I feel like all women should be religious, right? And Janine is spiritual. She's not religious. And so she might go away after their conversation and go, you know, my twin flame thinks I should be religious, and I'm not religious because of ... And so then she'll start unpacking things in her own mind, and it causes, you know, a big wobble. It causes a big shake to happen, right? The other thing that can happen too with the mirroring side of this is that, remember, we're trying to, as you know, as twin flames, as light workers, we're trying to unpack all of the crap, you know, all of the addiction, all of the stuff, the people, places and situations that no longer serve us. I'm taking the red out because the red is the bad. And see how I'm making more room I'm making more room for all the good stuff, you know, all the knowledge, all the love, all the great stuff. Oh, there's a little bit of red there too. We've got to get rid of that. So it can take a lifetime to get rid of all of the stuff. You know, if someone was abused as a child, if someone was, you know, perhaps, I don't know, has PTSD, if someone has anxiety, if someone has depression, if someone has bad behaviors, like masturbating on the staircase at mum's place. Just imagine that, you know, you walk in and it's Christmas and there's Larry. Hang on, I'll just be 5 more minutes. I can't even deal. Hang on. Oh, I can't even show you my face right now. I'm just blushing. Larry, it's so embarrassing. Stop doing that. If your divine masculine is called Larry today, I take it all back, and I didn't mean to offend anyone. I don't think I've met anyone with a divine masculine called Larry, so I think we should be safe. But what can happen is, this is the other thing that can happen with your twin flame, is that you think, right? Janine thinks she shed everything. She thinks that everything's been let go of, right? As in, you know, she had an addiction to, I don't know, making tea towels, and she had a definite crush on a porn star or something like that, right? So she's got rid of all of that. That was in the past, right? She no longer sniffs lavender like she used to as a really bad habit that she used to have, right? And of course all of these habits I'm joking about. But what can happen is she can have a conversation with her twin flame. They might not have seen each other for a while, and then he might say something like, you know, people who've sniffed lavender in their lifetime, you know, I believe that they will get brain damage, right? Which is a really weird thing for Larry to say, but you know, he's already got issues. He's been on the staircase, right? So then she has been given this trigger and she needs to get rid of it again. So this is what happens in the twin flame journey, is that, you know, twins will come together, and then when they're apart, they'll shed all this stuff. You know, the separation will happen, and they'll shed all the stuff. Then they'll come together and there'll be another trigger. Like, I don't know, let's say that Janine's biggest fear is motorbike riding, and, you know, they've decided they're going to get married, right? Larry and Janine are going to get married. As long as he gets rid of that naughty addiction at Christmas time that he's been caught doing for so many years, right? When he gets rid of that, they're going to get married, right? She can accept his other small behaviors, like leaving his socks and things on the floor. She doesn't mind all of those things, right? But then he might say, well, I want to go around the world in a hot air balloon, right? And hot air balloons might be one of the things that she's terrified of. So even though they're in semi-union, even though they're coming together, what's going to happen is that the twins are going to keep triggering one another until all of the stuff is gone. So, you know, even if they're madly in love, even if they're going to get married, and of course the twin flame journey is all about the self more than it is about the partner, but the other one will reflect onto the other what needs to be healed. So it might even just be that, you know, Larry brings up a topic that Janine's uncomfortable talking about. So the topic of masturbation might be on the list, and he might say, well, it's okay to do it anywhere you like. You know, we're free. We should be free to express ourselves. Harry's laughing. We should be free to express ourselves. I think Larry must be Harry's distant cousin. We're free to express ourselves in any way we like. And Janine, being very spiritual and humble, she's like, oh my goodness, what did you say that for? And so it triggers her into this weirdness, right? So she feels like she's in a whole nother reality. So the idea of, let me just get rid of a couple here and put some more red back in here. But the idea as twin flames is that we have a lot of stuff that we've taken on board in an emotional, mental and physical way over the years, right? And this can change our behaviors and our perceptions in general. And so what needs to happen is as we ascend, we lighten the load. We say, well, I don't need that friend that's toxic. I don't need that addiction that's, causing me to feel unwell. I don't need... I'm still laughing about Larry. I don't need to smell lavender. That's like a weird habit that I've had for years. Not me, but Janine, right? So we can keep unpacking it. And then we kind of feel like, oh, we're full of knowledge and love and humility, and we feel like we're on the right track. And then not only the twin flame might trigger us, but other people in our life, like karmics, might trigger us as well. They might say, I don't know, are you really wearing that dress tonight, Janine? You look like you've put on 30 pounds. And Janine might go, oh no. And so now she's got a weight issue. Or, I don't know, someone mentions to her that she heard some gossip about her or something. And so, it constantly people are going to be making us triggered. But the twin flame will do it in a different kind of way, where they're not really trying to do it. They might just be talking about something and it'll trigger a memory in you. So they might be talking about how they went to the beach with their best friend Harry, and then you'll remember, maybe a past loved one or something like that. You shared a time at the beach with them, and so it becomes a weird kind of synchronicity that they are talking about something that triggers you. So we're kind of always unpacking what's been triggering us. We're always letting go of it. We're always trying to, in an emotional, mental and physical way, trying to let go of what no longer serves us. And the 3D karmics will probably be more harsh in the way that they trigger us. And this can cause us to have a dark night of the soul as well. The dark night of the soul comes about because as we allow others to, as we allow our ego to be changed or threatened by others, then we can get into the emotional space of feeling insecure about something, which is what usually happens. And then we start thinking about it too much, which is kind of the enemy. The mind is kind of the enemy here. We start thinking and thinking and thinking about it too much, instead of going to that soul space and saying, well, you know what? I don't smell lavender every day anymore. And for Larry, I'm not on the stairs at Christmas time anymore. That was a big one though. I have to use the big red one for that one. So it becomes easier and easier as you go along. But then sometimes there'll be these sporadic times of sadness as well. And the sporadic times of sadness, I'm just going to write that down. The sporadic times of sadness come about during these little mini dark nights of the soul because, you're sort of missing your ego a little bit. As you come into that soul space, you kind of sometimes miss the ego. And of course, the ego is the hardest thing to get rid of because it's what we identify with and have identified with since we were little. So when we were a baby, we were told, your name is Harry, right? And Harry is so beautiful, and Harry is so amazing, and Harry is, so cute, and Harry is so wonderful. Maybe as a baby we got told all of that, and we got the whole goo goo gaga, sort of speak from our parents. And then when you go to kindergarten or school and you have, a teacher yell at you, or you have other kids bullying you, or you have, other behaviors coming into the mix, and you kind of go, oh, hang on a minute, maybe I'm I'm not, you know, as brilliant as I was told I was. And then other people's behavior can make you question who you are. What other people say to you can make you question what you were told you were. And for some people, for some little babies when they were born and, you know, into their younger years, they weren't told they were beautiful. They weren't told they were wonderful. And so that can mean a whole lot of baggage can happen, especially emotionally and mentally, for someone who wasn't loved as a child, because then they're constantly searching for the love outside of themselves. And if the divine masculine doesn't come in and give that love, then especially the feminine, take gender and divine masculine and feminine, flip them how you want. But if the divine masculine doesn't show the divine feminine how much he loves her, then her abandonment issues, which is usually a really big problem in the twin flame journey, her abandonment issues can come to the surface and she can feel very lonely and sad. So this is why I always say, try and stay in your joy all the time. Try and have fun as much as you can, you know, despite what the world is bringing to you, despite what you're seeing in the 3D world around you. Okay, know that you are beautiful, no matter whether you were told you were or not when you were little, right? You are beautiful, you are amazing. And if you're watching my channel, then you're probably resonating with what I'm saying right now. And inside of your heart, you know that you are special and that you are loved. And many of you don't know that, you know, all of the things that you've done in your life have brought you to who you are now. And all of the people and places and situations that have occurred, good or bad, okay, have made you, you know, who you are now. And your twin flame is going to have different issues than you are. Remember what Larry did? Right, that's a pretty big issue, isn't it? What an embarrassing one. But, you know, each twin flame is still the same soul. I want to reiterate that, you know, you still have the same soul, but all the baggage that you both have is going to be different. So when you come together with your twin in the 3D reality, it's going to be interesting, because sometimes their behavior is going to be reflective of how much baggage they've got. And remember, this baggage that they've taken on is going to be emotional, mental, and physical. And perhaps it's going to make you see and understand them a lot more when you do spend time with them. Okay, so if you're not spending time with your twin flame and you're in separation at the moment, this is the time for you to be unpacking your own baggage. Emotional, mental, and physical baggage that you've taken on board for a really long time. And this is why I made my Ascension package as part one of the twin flame system, so that as you unpack who you really are, you're going to learn more and more. And I love here how this one here, it looks like there's no more red in there, but if we look inside, we found another one. And this is usually what happens in the twin flame journey, is that people come such a long way, and then all of a sudden they go, oh my God, I thought I'd shed everything, you know, I thought I'd let go of that, and I thought I'd let go of that. And then they can become, you know, sad or upset or triggered by certain things again. So we're constantly being bombarded from the world and from the reflection that our twin flame brings to us here, with all of these emotional, mental, and physical things, as well as things that have happened in our past. And as we continue to ascend, we want to shed those yucky things that no longer serve us, so that we've got more room inside of ourselves. Okay, let me just get rid of all the red. I don't know that I can get that last one, but let's say we get rid of most of the stuff, then we can add more knowledge and more love and more friendship and more joy. Oh my gosh, wow, that was a lot of joy. It just fell all over me, all that joy. Wow. Okay, so this has been a twin flame concept video, and I don't really know what I'm going to call it yet, but I'm going to put it in the twin flame concept twin flame concept playlist. Wow, say that 8 times fast. Me and Harry are sending you a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are in the world. And of course, I'll continue to do divine, masculine, and feminine check-ins as much as I can. But for some of you, I know that you need to hear, the twin flame concepts are also important. So I just want you to know that it's normal. Before I go, it's normal if you feel like you've got all this baggage and all this stuff that you still need to work through. It's okay, because we all do. We're all human, and we all have stuff that we need to unpack. And as long as you're working towards it, that means you're ascending and you're on the right path. So congratulations to all of you who are really trying on the journey. If you need my services, my details, of course, are in the description box below. And I'm so happy to tell you that if you actually want to do a coaching session with me one-on-one, where you can get on the phone and talk to me, I'm now offering those as well. And I can tell you, it's been such a delight to actually speak to people, in real life. You know what I mean? In real life. I mean, you're all real. I think are they all real? I don't know. Maybe I'm imagining all of this and I'm just in my own little world, which is kind of cool. I don't mind. So before I go, I know I already said goodbye, but Donkey wants to give you a kiss. Ready? Mwah. Donkey kisses. Spoggy wants to fly around for a little minute and give you a kiss. Mwah. And then, of course, Harry gave you that really weird telepathic message at the beginning. And Woody, well, he can't stand up unless I hold him. But I did notice that he's got this little thing on his chin. And it's kind of cute. It makes him who he is. But Mini Woody is definitely looking for a twin flame. So if any of you are interested, he says, leave your name, just your name, not your number, because then the whole internet world will have your number. You don't want to do that. But just leave your name and he will come and find you, he says. He doesn't know how he's going to do it yet, but he's on a mission to find his twin flame. All right? So have a beautiful day, everyone. And I hope this twin flame concept video helped you. Little Red Riding Hood is over in the corner too, but she is a little bit annoyed at me from yesterday. So she doesn't want to say goodbye to anyone because she thinks it'll make me happy. And she doesn't want to do that right now. So we'll let her stay in her ego for the time being. And I'll see you all real soon. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And if you remember nothing else from this video, just remember to stay in your joy, okay? And don't masturbate on the stairs, at least while no one's watching, okay? Make sure no one's watching if you do. But, take it how it resonates. Mwah. I am silly. I am crazy. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye.